this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. This is a here we go again video. It's a bit depressing really. This is Melissa Briony, and I was looking at it. You know, I'm going through filming every single plant, and this one came up, and as I went past it I thought, yeah, those older pseudobulbs are looking a bit desiccated. And the problem with the plant was that all of the new growths are climbing. Yeah, they're all on longer stalks, so the new roots aren't getting down into the media. And it was in far too big a pot. So I thought, well, now's a good time to just split it, and you know, I can plant them like that. You know, okay, they're a bit sideways, but it's the only way I can get those new roots in without taking the back bulb off. And then the new growth is set right back because it's got no support. But then looking at the support it's got, it's not brilliant anyway. Anyway, when I got it out of the pot, virtually the whole root system was not good. And the only good roots really are coming off these new growths. And then I had another look and I thought, yeah, and they're not doing that good either. But there are some green growing tips on them, but that's not what you'd call a good root production on these new growths. Anyway, I split it all up and just basically ran out of time last night. I put cinnamon on the joints, ready to repot, which is what I was just about to do, but I thought, shall I show this or not? Well, yes I will. That is one of the worst infected plants I have ever come across. You know, that purple ring is, you'll have to excuse it, it's a bit stained because it got the cinnamon put on it, and I've just had to wash it off to do this video, but this is a badly infected plant. So it explains its deterioration, and it also means that I am capable of spreading this around. Now, this could have been sat in this plant a long time, yeah? But because it was a strong, healthy plant, when I went through the routine of identifying the plants suspect from given suppliers, they all got a routine fungicide spray and they got the repeat application, quite methodical in that case. But I didn't do the whole grow room. That would get expensive, quite honestly, and I am very limited to what I can use. But the results of this means that that has to happen now. Every single plant, no matter how healthy it looks, no matter what. The exception will be the Restrepias and the Masdevallias and the Miltoniopsis, because although certainly with Miltoniopsis it's possible to get Fusarium in it, they are fragile plants, and the sort of chemical I'm using, you know, it inhibits the spore growth, stops them producing spores and stops the spores feeding. So although technically that hasn't killed the fungus, it's stopped it. There is a subtle difference. You know, if you put if you put a bug in a matchbox so as it can't get out, you've stopped it, but it ain't dead. Will be soon, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to have to do that now. So I've had a look round, had another good look at Anna Maria's data on her video and the chemicals involved, and I've been through it again and I can't get them. But I have managed to find a product. The fungicide I used had a chemical that has some effect on Fusarium. It's not totally effective, but it's pretty good, and that's all I found. So I was stuck with that one, and it comes in a ready-made mix. But what I have managed to find is the concentrate version of exactly the same product. And lo and behold, with a lot of effort and work, I managed to find the low-level chemical ingredients to the concentrate. And blow me, they're different. It's not the same low-level chemical, even though it's exactly the same product, which is weird, but great, because it now means I've got two products, the same labelling, but they've got different low-level makeups, which means I can rotate, which is what I was after. So I've gone onto eBay, made the appropriate purchases, and then I'm just going to methodically, you know, when the stuff comes, go through the whole grow room, whether they need it or not. It's the only thing I can do to stop this dead in its tracks, or nearly dead in its tracks. And yes, I'm laughing, but I'm actually, you know, a bit pissed off, quite honestly. This thing is capable of spreading, we all know, but I thought that I hadn't spread it. Now again, I'll say this plant could have been sat with this for a while, and you know, it's just got a hold. There could be other plants sat there living with it, but the fact that they're living with it, it is capable of spreading. So I'm going to have to try and put a permanent stop to it and get it under control. And I hate the fact that I have to do routine spraying like this. I don't like it, but what's the other choice? You know, it's damage limitation at the end of the day, so I'm going to have to do it. Now again, I'm going to have to pop this up, and this now doesn't go on the iffy plant list, this goes on the confirmed infected plant list. So it's now got to be watered totally separately with its own water, and becomes a pain. And on some of my plants I would bin it, but I like this plant. I love the blooms, and it actually came from a friend trader, somebody I get on great with, who doesn't come to this country very often, from French France. So I want to keep it, so I will try. And I'm fully aware that by keeping known infected plants, it poses a risk. But all I can do is put the protective element of the systemic chemical into all the plants, which in theory should provide a barrier for this horrible thing getting into them. And if it did happen to get into them, it should at least stop it reproducing itself and growing and blocking all those pathways through the plant, which is how it kills your plant basically. I haven't had many plants actually die from it. Some of the Cattleyas did, definitely. They're all gone. You know, they're out of the scenario now. They're gone. And quite honestly, yesterday while I was filming, 3 plants got thrown out. Now unfortunately that's both of my Psychopsis, so they won't go in the before and after video now. Even though I filmed them, they're now gone, so I won't include them. I will hopefully get another Psychopsis. I don't really need 2, but I'd like one good one. I shall miss the alba form. It's currently in flower, so what I've done is brought it indoors so that I can enjoy that bloom before it goes. But the leaves were so bad on it. It may not have, they may not have fusarium, but they've just got something nasty that, you know, again, if it's some sort of bacterial infection, it's just not worth it, because that really can put a plant down fast. You get bacterial infections, the brown rots and the black rots, and knock your plant down in days. Whereas this horrible thing likes to take its time and creep up on you. Anyway, so it's still around, and I'm going to do the best I can to inhibit it. It's not really stoppable, and you know, I still believe there's an awful lot more people have got this than care to admit it, and there's an awful lot that have got it and don't know. And if you've got big, strong, healthy plants that are growing well, and they've got it, then they're living with it, and that can happen too. But certain plants just seem to be extra resistant, and it would only be in an incredibly weakened state that this could get a hold of them. I mean, I've yet to find a dendrobium with it. That doesn't mean none of them have got it, but I haven't found a dendrobium with this. A lot of those are mounted, and because they're mounted, they don't get remounted or potted, and without that, the opportunity to actually nick a rhizome and have a look, it doesn't present itself very often. So as a precaution, even they can get done. So yeah, a bit sad, but I'm not losing the plant. I'm just having to now take those extra precautions. But the list of plants that have to be watered separately because they are known to be infected is in single figures. It's not really a big deal, and I'm prepared to deal with those because I want to keep them. The other one that got thrown out yesterday on the grounds that it is so many years from coming back into a decent plant, it's not worth the effort. I'll get another one, and that was the Cattleya maxima, so that's gone. So that was 3 out the door yesterday, and this one really should have followed them, but I will attempt to get this one back again. The new growths are still plump, and they have got some root growth. I mean, this one's just starting to desiccate, but it has got some roots, and there are some green growing tips, which means when I do get the spray, see, that new growth's not very good, and it has no new roots. Yeah, we'll just keep the two. The two that have got root growth with green tips and are not that sad looking yet, we'll give them a go. It means they can go in a nice small pot, nice and confined, because quite honestly this was over potted, and we'll go from there. But it is a nuisance. That's the polite version. Yeah. And yeah, it can get you down, but you know, it's a matter of chin up and fight on. So that's what I'm going to do. See you next time. Bye for now.